Right, so there was a mass shooting that was averted this morning, or actually it was yesterday, on Sunday morning in Texas. And why I wanted to make this video is that in Canada especially, but in the States as well, um, there's a big, gun debate going on right now. I mean, in Canada, you have the Trudeau government wanting to ban basically the majority of guns that are currently owned, assuming they do want to ban semi-autos, which would include handguns, a lot of rifles, even some shotguns, even 22s. Technically, a lot of them are semi-auto. So, and in states, you have individual states, namely Virginia, but there's some other ones trying to pass gun control bills. But the point of this video is I wanted to point out the fact that concealed carry and less gun control is the way that things should be, and more looser gun control doesn't equate to more crime. And I've made videos about this before, so I mean, one of the first videos I ever put out on this channel was a video that completely debunks the idea that looser gun laws leads to more crime. In fact, it's the opposite in most cases. So go check that video out if you want more stats and references to that, because I'm not going to spend the whole video making arguments against gun control when I've already done that multiple times. So like I said, go check that out. But the if you go to this Twitter page, I don't know if you can still see it or not, but when they first posted this tweet, they had the video of the actual shooting basically. Now, what happened? I watched it a few times now. Basically, what happened is a guy came into a church with a gun, and I don't know exactly who fired the first shot, but I heard the report that there was two people hurt. Now again, this could have completely changed by the time you see this, so don't take my word for it. This is just what I heard. But I heard that one person was critically injured and one person was killed, the shooter obviously being the person that was killed. So I'm guessing that the person who came into the church with a gun shot someone but didn't kill them. And then the concealed weapons holder, who I heard may have been a former cop, but that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if they're a former cop or not. I mean, they still have to have a concealed carry, unless you're a current cop. I'm not sure if how the rules work if you're off duty or not. But um, long story short, someone that had a concealed carry stopped the shooting, and this happens quite a bit. The Sutherland Springs. A guy that lived basically next door to a church heard shots, and he grabbed his AR-15 and he went and he stopped it because the shooter was on his way to another church, I believe. And this kind of stuff happens all the time, and funny, the mainstream media never covers it. Now it's because they're clearly biased. They want gun control. That's obvious. But like I say, it's odd that the mainstream media doesn't cover it, but obviously it's because of the bias. But the main point I wanted to get across here is that most of my viewers, I'm pretty sure, are Canadian, and a lot of the people who probably watch this will be American, but a lot of Canadians as well. And the difference between Canadians and Americans when it comes to gun laws and in talking about gun control is that I wouldn't say it's a majority, but a much larger percentage of Canadian gun owners and people who are more, let's say, that they're more to the looser end of gun control when you ask them about their beliefs. The Canadians will still tell you generally that, you know, we shouldn't have gun bans, but we should have all this, you need to have them registered and you need to have your permits and all this crap. And the Americans are like, well, screw that. You should be able to buy guns as long as you're not a criminal, and you should be able to have concealed carry, as long as you can legally own the guns in the first place. And Canadians, it just really bothers me that the Canadian gun owners are so pushovers, I guess is the nicest way you can possibly put it. And like I said, that is the nicest way you can possibly put it. There's some other ways of putting it, but I'm not gonna put it that way right now. But the main point I wanted to get across is that Canadian gun owners need to wake up, because the way that gun control always works is, I mean, almost always slowly but surely. You rarely go from constitutional carry to outright bans. Like that's never going to happen. It's going to be, we want you to have a permit, then we want them registered, then it's you can only have them at ranges, then it's we're going to take them away, and then it's we're going to take the scary looking ones away, and then we'll, they'll make an argument. Handguns are the ones that commit the majority of crimes, so they'll be able to bring that up when they want to ban the handguns. The semi-autos are the ones that look the scariest and the ones that look like the guns that people play on Call of Duty and whatnot. So people think that they're super dangerous, even though AR-15s kill like 100 people a year in the States. You know, they're completely negligible. If you want to ban the AR-15 and semi-autos because you want to save lives, you're absolutely insane. Because the amount of you would be better off spending that money, and if you reduced cancer or heart disease, the amount of people that die from that by 1%, probably even a half a percent, you would make way more gains, like way more gains. Like a half a million people a year die from heart disease, and 100, 200 die from semi-auto rifles. Like if that's what you believe, just stop pretending that you care about saving lives. You care about saving lives, but you're extremely selective which how you want to go about it, and your real agenda is you want to ban guns. So just be honest with people. Don't lie. That's the one thing that I like to point out is that if you want to disagree with me on my beliefs and all that, it's fine. Go ahead, but just be honest with people about your intentions. That's something I can't stand about the left, especially the right does it to a lesser degree, but the left doesn't get called out on it nearly as much, which is the big difference between the two sides. And that's why I always rag on the left more than the right, because when the right stuff does wrong, the right does stuff wrong, they receive criticism. Like Donald Trump receives criticism on the minutest of, like, he gets more ice cream, his salt and pepper shakers are bigger, and he receives criticism about it. And you have people on the left that are, Justin Trudeau's the biggest hypocrite alive, and where's the criticism of him? Like, it's non-existent. So yeah, basically the point being here is that all whenever the right makes their arguments when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's, well, good people with guns save lives, and the left always laughs and scoffs, and they go, where's the examples of this kind of stuff? And it happens all the time. The studies are very clear that the amount of shooting or of violent crimes committed with guns is less than or less or roughly the same amount, depending on what study you point out, that the amount are committed with guns. So in other words, concealed carry, the ability to have concealed carry permits prevents an insanely high amount of violent crimes, whether it's rapes, whether it's murders, whether it's robberies, whatever. And that's something that the anti-gunners never point out. Like, they never point that out. It's always just guns are scary, we need to ban them. It's never a tangible argument. It's always either a very manipulative argument, like comparing Canada and the states' murder rates directly. Like I say, even though they lie to you that since implementing Canada's gun control laws, the murder rate is pretty much the same, and the amount of guns in the states has more than doubled in that same amount of time. The amount of constitutional carry states has more than doubled, and yet their murder rate has been cut in half. So if anything, the looser gun control in the states, the insanely higher amount of guns correlates with, at the very least, somewhat correlates with, you can't say that it doesn't whatsoever, a drop in murder rates and violent crimes, all that kind of stuff. And in Canada, gun control it hasn't done anything to reduce our murder rates and our crime rates. And my guess is that the numbers are going to go up a little in Canada because, I mean, look at Toronto, the amount of violence that's going on there, it's increasing there. And the solutions just blame guns, and it's not working. It's never going to work. So um, basically, the take home point here is that Canadians mainly, but some American gun owners, and even people, maybe you're not a gun owner, but you're someone on the right, even if you're on the left, um, people need to understand that looser gun laws and more or less gun control doesn't lead to more crime. It's just it's a lie, and the left perpetrates it for reasons that it would take too long to go into in this video, but the stats are clear. Like I say, go check out my other videos. It would take me forever to make a video backing up all this kind of stuff. And like I say, I have made those videos, so you can't say that I haven't made those videos before. And I'm gonna keep making more of them when stuff like this comes out. But Anyways, I'm gonna leave the video here. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.